Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray, and Take Two is the new Take That. Coming up today, we're going to talk about the tag team formerly known as The Revival. They finally debuted, FTR in AEW. We're going to talk Cody's big news surrounding the TNT Championship from last night's Dynamite as well. And we've got a couple of new card additions for NXT TakeOver in your house.
Plus a mass brawl involving Mike Tyson and a whole load of MMA fighters closed out last night's episode of AEW Dynamite. And in the main event of NXT, Timothy Thatcher lost teeth in the fight pit. This is the news.
What a sentence that is. But we're going to kick things off by talking about FTR. The former Revival, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. They're in AEW. We all knew this was coming, but it went down on last night's show. So, here's what happened. Opening match, Joey Janela, Private Party versus Matt Hardy and the Young Bucks. It's a total spot fest, but they set that up in the opening segment by Matt Hardy going, hey, let's go be spot monkeys. It was kind of fun. There was a moment in that match where the Butcher and the Blade, who were at ringside, accidentally got hit by a super kick from the Young Bucks and then got beaten up by the Young Bucks just to add more heat. After the match, after the Young Bucks and Matt Hardy had won, the Butcher and the Blade got in the ring. They started beating up the Young Bucks when a truck pulls up outside of the arena. An old truck that some country and western dude probably owns. I don't know where I'm going with that. Out come FTR. They're wearing their jackets. They're looking real hard in their white and black t-shirts, and they walk to the ring, and you think for a moment they're going to beat up the Young Bucks and deliver on that feud, but no! They beat up the Butcher and the Blade. One of them gets a spike pile driver. The Butcher, I believe, got what was formerly known as the Shatter Machine. Lord knows what it's going to be called now. Afterwards, we have a stare down between the Young Bucks and FTR. The Young Bucks offer a handshake. FTR, they say no, 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 and they leave. So it looks like we're immediately heading towards that program in some shape or form. AEW has already released a t-shirt for the new group. It's not Forever the Revolt or whatever they were going to call it before that cease and desist came in. The t-shirt says F the rest. So, you know, the nasty F, not the nice F. Frank, he's the nice F. Frank's hot sauce. What am I doing, mate? I'm off the rails. Talk about FTR.
No flips, just cease and desist. Yeah, absolutely spectacular to see Cash and Sex in, what are they called? In AEW. No, yeah, mixed emotions here. Obviously, as I said, spectacular to see them in AEW, and my mind immediately turned to that Michael Cera gif where it's like, it's happening, isn't it? When they finally got together in the ring. But yeah, mixed emotions because you wanted that debut to happen in front of a crowd where you could get the pop. I've seen a lot of people tweeting us basically saying, yeah, that is slightly disappointing, but the pop I got at home was more than enough to make up for it. Look, you know, we're not going to get everything we want in this ongoing global bastard. So I'm just happy we're getting this match, and it's going to be spectacular and great to see them in AEW.
Yeah, the thing is, like, isn't it, like, the ongoing global bastard could be bastarding its way around the world for, like, another bastard year at this rate. So it's kind of like, well, it's unideal. We don't have a crowd. We're not going to get the pop. But I popped off my seat watching this, and I was watching it at 5 o'clock in the bloody morning, so that should tell you something. I thought it was a good little angle. I thought it was a nice way for them to debut. They didn't give too much away. They didn't cut a promo. They didn't spend too long out there. I think they were only in the ring for like a minute and a half, maybe tops. Good stuff, I thought. It was the most effective angle on the show. It was certainly better than the one you're about to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about... I suspect... What do you reckon? All out for that match between the Young Bucks and the Revolt, whatever they are called, FTR?
Seems fair.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
Hopefully we'll have crowds back by then. But we have to talk about that main event from Dynamite last night. We had a big pep rally for the Inner Circle. They were trying to get rid of all the T-shirts as winners of Stadium Stampede, which of course they weren't. There was a lovely poem in there by Jake Hager, which I particularly enjoyed. And then out came Mike Tyson and all of his MMA mates. Basically, Chris Jericho was holding a grudge from 10 years ago when Tyson chinned him on an episode of Monday Night Raw. So out comes Mike Tyson with a whole host of, as I said, fighters. We saw Vitor Belfort, a legendary UFC fighter. and just MMA legend, to be fair, at ringside at Double or Nothing. Not only was he there, so was Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold medalist, champ in the UFC, arguably one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, certainly in his eyes, in the UFC. Rashad Evans was there. And there was a big, I think the best way to describe it was kerfuffle. Mike Tyson reminded me a lot of Lex Luger having a fight with a t-shirt. He squared up to Chris Jericho. There was a big sort of pull-apart brawl. It was kind of cringeworthy and a little bit weird and disappointing, I think it's fair to say, the main event of last night's AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, not a good way to close the show, unfortunately. It just didn't work. Like, I guess it's a solid idea in principle, right? Jericho wants revenge for Tyson knocking him out 10 years ago. Fair enough. You've got the basis of something there, but the execution of the whole thing just didn't come off well. I mean, like, Tyson's acting in the spot, not great, and the t-shirt didn't look great, and the awkwardness afterwards where they're all just kind of been separated and standing around. I don't think it really hit the way the promotion wanted it to. Yeah, man, just a kind of a damp way to end the show for me.
Yeah, a really disappointing end. I mean, post-match, post-show even, I've seen on Twitter subsequent to that Colt Cabana was just like, what are you doing to Chris Jericho? So that's the match we're getting next week on Dynamite, which is going to be really good. But yeah, a drab ending. My favourite bit of all this, though, Andy, is do you know who the guy is with sort of weird face paint on and a white t-shirt stood next to Mike Tyson was?
I do, but I'm going to let you do the line.
Yes. So this guy was stood in front of, as I said, a double UFC champion and gold medalist in Henry Cejudo. Right, I get it, he's bigger than Henry Cejudo in height-wise, but Henry Cejudo, as I said, has just demolished. He beat TJ Dillashaw, he just beat Dominic Cruz, he beat Mighty Mouse, one of the greatest UFC fighters, MMA fighters of all time. He's an Olympic gold medalist. And stood in front of him was actor Mickey Gooch.
I saw a really good headline from Fightful. I think it was
Yes,
Jeremy Lambert.
You're right. I've got it in front of me.
There you go. Do you want to read it out, brother? You got better delivery.
Actor Mickey Gooch taints Inner Circle pep rally on AEW Dynamite. Well played, Fightful. Well played.
They've turned a negative segment into a positive with that line, haven't they?
He looks like the
Props.
I Like Turtles boy. Maybe not as much as Darby Allin, but still, you know.
Let's move. Let's talk about Cody, who maybe he likes turtles as well. I don't know. Maybe he's more of a tortoise guy. He broke some news on last night's Dynamite. He's going to defend the TNT Championship every single week. Kind of like the old TV title when it was on TV every single week. Good promo from Cody, typical stuff, putting himself over, putting his hard work over, saying he was going to do this effectively as a reward to the fans for sticking with them, essentially, during a difficult period, and talking about Double or Nothing, outdoing all projections for buys. There was a really good line in here where he said, like, you know, when he was called up at 21 years old, he barely knew how to run the ropes, and that Dustin got all the dusty genes. I thought that was just a nice little turn of phrase. But
I really liked when he said, I wasn't the first pick or the second pick or the third pick.
There you go. It's really good stuff. And like Tom Brady comparison, Tim Bradley, that's his real name, New England idiots, that football team. But we learned his first opponent on the same night. We got Jungle Boy winning the #1 Contenders Battle Royal, eliminating Orange Cassidy last, so that'll be next week. Cody's going to be defending it every single week. He's called it an open challenge, kind of like what John Cena used to do with the United States Championship. Yeah, I mean, this is cool. This is cool to me. Jungle Boy's another guy he can help get over in defeat, because he will win that match, you think. Particularly after Jungle Boy entered that really strong performance against MJF at Double or Nothing. This is cool. We're going to get a nice little TV match to look forward to from Cody every single week. I am all in for that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a really good hook to get people to retain viewership for AEW Dynamite. And we're going to leave it there for this story, purely because I have a very important question to ask you regarding the TNT Championship a little bit later on with some of our Twitter questions. Let's move on to the main event of NXT last night, which was... I really had to contain myself there because I wanted to swear more than I've ever wanted to swear on the news. Flipping epic! It was the cage match, not your typical WWE cage match, between Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher, which was actually a fight pit. Kurt Angle was the special guest referee in this wonderful structure that they built. Of course, you could only win via, what was it? Tap out or knockout, basically. And
that's right.
Jesus Christ, if that is the last appearance by Matt Riddle in NXT, what a way to go out. Normally you think, you lose on your way out and it kind of diminishes you a little bit. Not for Matt Riddle. Whoa, this was spectacular. The two guys beat the absolute crap out of each other in this match. There was a floating bro off the top of the fight pit. There was a Showtime kick from Matt Riddle. And Timothy Thatcher literally spit some of his teeth out of his mouth. He was bleeding. He was picking his teeth up off the floor and handing them to Kurt Angle. There's a shot that you'll have probably seen on Twitter doing the rounds where he's just like that. His mouth is coated in blood. The official, the doctor's like, yeah, so you've lost a good couple of teeth there. Are you all right to continue? And no, without even taking a beat to anything, I was just like, yeah, it's just only a couple of teeth. It was Evolve-esque, I've seen people describing it as. It was jaw-dropping, that main event. I adored it.
Yeah, it was a crazy goddamn match. Shades of Ken Shamrock versus Owen Hart in the Lion's Den, SummerSlam 98, I think. I really liked that he did the push kick off the fence as well, because something like a lot of people forget about the Showtime kick is that, yes, Anthony Pettis popularized it in mainstream culture, but Ken Shamrock did it first in the Lion's Den. So it's like another really cool callback to that in that match. The match was awesome. This is the kind of wrestling I wish NXT did more of. I don't, I'm on an island here, but I don't really care for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa holding hands and Karrion Kross having this pantomime ring entrance and all that stuff. Just give me big badass dudes beating the crap out of each other, man, doing submissions, doing cool strikes with a little bit of extra flavor here and there. I'm not saying they should go around knocking each other's teeth out every single goddamn week, obviously, but that in itself, even though it was kind of ghoulish, was another moment that just added to the match, because he's got the blood, and Timothy Thatcher's a really good guy at, like, making his fight seem really ugly and attritional anyway, and this only brought it to another level. I thought it was the best thing on either show. It was an awesome match, my favorite NXT match in a good long while, and it just praise.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful stuff. I think you and I both, Andy, are ghouls when it comes to our wrestling at times. Maybe not the kind of neck stuff that we saw Shotzi Blackheart do, but still, yeah, really enjoyed that main event.
Yeah, maybe no more coffin drops, Shotzi Blackheart. Maybe just stick to tanks that don't give a S word.
Yeah.
Speaking of NXT, we're going to keep on that topic for our final story. In Your House, Takeover in Your House. Next weekend, next Sunday, it's going to be a fun event. We got 2 new additions on last night's show. The most major of these is Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole. Velveteen Dream is getting another shot at the NXT Championship, but if he loses, he can never challenge for it again. And William Regal has also stated that this match won't take place in the PC, but at a location befitting the performers in the championship. So we're probably getting the cinematic treatment for that, which means they're probably going to hold hands, which stop being so Shawn Michaels, guys, come on. The other match we're getting is Johnny Gargano versus Keith Lee for the North American Championship. We had dinner with Mia Yim and Keith Lee last night, playing on the recent Johnny Gargano and Candice segments. 2 big matches, that leaves the card at 5 matches deep, limited scope for new additions, 1 more week of TV. Is this all we're going to get, or do you think they'll maybe throw something else on?
We might get maybe a tag match. They sort of seem to hint towards it with Imperium, obviously the new NXT tag champions, and a nice little vignette with Oni, Lorcan and Danny Burch. Potentially that could get added, although they might try and stick that on TV to pop a bit of a rating. I assumed they were going to have the finals of the interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament, but that is happening next week after Drake Maverick pinned Jake Atlas, whilst Jake Atlas was kind of simultaneously tapping out to a Kushida armbar, but the referee didn't see that. So it is going to be Drake Maverick. The fairy tale continues. And he faces El Hijo del Fantasma in the final of that tournament next week on NXT. Also, just quickly mention, would not want to be the person who brought Keith Lee 1 slice of pizza. Don't know how Tegan Knox got away with that one, but still. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE, of course, if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Sean X. I mentioned the TNT Championship tournament, championship even a little bit earlier on. And Sean says, who do you think will be the second AEW TNT champion. My money is on Scorpio Sky.
Scorpio Sky is a good shout, but I think Darby Allin pinning Cody for the first time and winning a championship in the process would be a really cool way to take their story to the next level. Maybe All Out. Who knows?
Yeah, I could easily see that happening. MJF obviously teased it on last night's Dynamite, so maybe we could see something like that. For me, just because I love him, Sammy Guevara, but I sense that's probably not going to happen. Also, Scorpio Sky is a great shout as well. I mean, take your pick from that roster. It's absolutely stacked, so who knows what's going to happen there. I'm going to butcher this person's name, but thank you so much. At Unfill My Chamber on Twitter, at Utsav Batarai. I'm so sorry for that. Who says, your content is absolutely iconic. I only picked this question because he said that. My question is, what is the most OMG moment in WWE?
Oh my god, there's like hundreds of them that you could realistically pick. I'll go for Brock Lesnar beating the streak because, yeah, I mean, that fan at ringside, his facial expression still tells the whole story 6 years on.
Yeah, that's an obvious one. I'd go for probably Undertaker Mankind because, he thought he might have died. So,
good God Almighty.
Yeah, that's got to be right up there. But let us know in the comments your most OMG moment in WWE. Love to hear about that. Final question today comes from Jake King. A lot of questions centering around this Drake Maverick stuff today, Andy, of course. I picked Jake because it's kind of emblematic of that. Whilst it doesn't surprise me that WWE are using Drake Maverick's firing in a storyline, if he does win and stays employed, does it not tarnish the video he posted and make a mockery of the actual releases?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've been very clear, and I think we're all united here on the channel as to what we think of this. It's from day one we've been against it. It's gross, it's crass, it's rubbing it in the faces who've actually lost their jobs and their sources of income and may struggle to find a new one at these difficult global times. The whole thing to me is horrible. I hate it. It's maybe my least favourite storyline in wrestling at the moment, entirely for meta reasons.
Do you think, I should caveat all this, of course, with the fact that we're not really pinning this on Drake Maverick, the performer.
No, it's not his fault.
It was a genuinely heart-wrenching video he posted, along with a whole host of others. We saw videos from and tweets from the other guys, like I can think off the top of my head, like No Way Jose posted a lovely video when he found out the terrible news of his release. So I'm not on Drake Maverick here. We complained from day one whether or not, whether this was, a shoot, whether it was a shoot that became a work, or whether or not it's been a work all the way along. It's just so manipulative. Jake, you've hit the nail on the head. It just makes a mockery of everything WWE has done. What do you see happening next week on NXT, Andy? Because they've tried to sort of build this as a sort of, I don't know whether they want to describe it as a redemption arc, a fairy tale story almost. And, I've seen tweets, to be fair, on social media of a lot of people getting behind Drake Maverick. What do you see WWE doing next week?
I think he's going to win the belt, and I think they're going to go with that option. I think either he wasn't released and the whole thing was a work, a tinfoil hat, or they're going to re-sign him and give him the belt, because a lot of people are talking about it positively or negatively, and they see things like social media clicks and that form of engagement as one of their biggest metrics of success at the moment. So I think that's going to happen, and when it does, you bet your bottom ass, what am I talking about? We're going to complain about it, because it deserves it. It's crass as hell. I hate it. Ugh.
Yeah, not pretty. And finally, that's what we're at, Adam, now. Today's and finally comes from David S. Poe on Twitter, @damn_vandal. I just really enjoyed this. And I guarantee David isn't the only one who can relate to this. He tweeted it to me saying, I might be watching WhatCulture videos too much around the house when my lady is texting me impressions of you. Hashtag, is this the best text combo ever? Hashtag, this is the news. His missus messaged, 2 thoughts, I can't find the gold emoji on my phone, and then, brackets, in my imperfect Adam Wilborn voice, bloody hell, you're going to make me love wrestling. More examples of stuff like that, or anyone using the word poosh in a normal situation, please.
Apart from Kourtney Kardashian, you stealing my gimmicks,
What?
you person. Yeah, I think it's Kourtney. It's Kourtney or Chloe. One of them has a company called Push Now. We gotta bring them down.
Cease
people
and
of the
desist
internet.
coming your way, just like you, CM Punk. I know you're my best friend on Twitter, but this whole, is this going to be the best backstage reporter ever? From CM Punk gimmick.
Yeah.
You're in the
Let's
same
take them
boat
out.
as Charlie Caruso now. After
You
the
know, man, I had no beef with the Kardashians. I think people who are upset by Kardashians probably need to just calm down a little bit. But if you steal my gimmicks, I will ramble incoherently about it on YouTube. That's what I'll do.
We didn't start this war, but we will end it. Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all today's news stories in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and the Dadley Boys reviewing two very different main events on Dynamite and NXT this week. And don't forget to join us live at 4 p.m. here on YouTube. We'll be dealing with any wrestling breaking news and answering all your burning wrestling questions then. So make sure you join us for that one. Plus, you can let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions and friends and relatives doing impressions of us at WhatCulture WWE. Whilst you are there, follow both of us, though. You can follow Andy Murray at...
You can follow me at Andy H. Murray. And speaking of impressions, the H stands for...
You can follow me at Adam Wilmore. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. You get. Right, thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.